Rock Park. Beautiful scenery, about 120 miles or so north of New York City, and a fabulous drive through the countryside if you're coming from that direction. Bradley International Airport comes down the other way, just off Route 7. Lakeville, Connecticut has played host to motor racing for the last 60 years. 7 corners, 1.5 miles, big bend, turns 1 and 2, the braking area there, the uphill. No chicane for the IMSA Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge. It's not really a passing place, maybe West Bend and diving down the hill, but only if you get a bit of cooperation from the cars that you are trying to go by. This is a 120-minute encounter, hence the Lime Rock 120 for Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge this weekend. Our Continental Tire pit lane reporter is Shea Adam, and the cars are moving out of the pit lane. Has everybody got out the pit lane, Shea? I can't quite see all the way down to pit lane.
Wait for it. Yes, they all made it out. The number 37 Mini was the last one to exit the pit speed limiter, but we have an almost empty pit lane. There is a BMW still here, but that was the initial pace car, not the safety car. That is the BMW full of VIPs. So, yep, completely empty pit lane. We are good to go racing.
Got a couple of formation laps here before we get underway, and split strategies that we've been talking about in the countdown to green. Jeremy Shaw, pole position for Trent Hinman. The track was getting very fast, everybody improved, but Trent was the one who used his brand new Continental tyres the best. He's on the front row in the Porsche Cayman number 12 from the 57 Stevenson Chevrolet Camaro. Now, you'd expect in a drag race to the first corner in a side-by-side start that Matt Bell might just get an advantage, and that's where he's got to play that card early, hasn't he?
Well, yes, he's certainly hoping to, but that was a great lap, as you suggested, by Trent Hinman in qualifying from Waytown, New Jersey, Wayside, New Jersey, not that far away from here. The team also based there, so a lot of support here this weekend for Trent Hinman. That lap, by the way, was miles underneath the old track record. It stood at a 57.1 to Duncan Endy. That was set a long, long time ago. Last year's pole was a 57.4, 55.3, however, it was this time for Trent Hinman. So that's a stellar pace by the youngster from New Jersey, and he will be looking to maintain that advantage over that V8 machine of Stevenson Motorsports on the run to the first corner.
So the cars will begin to form up next time round. Slightly split grid with the ST cars off the back. 13 GS cars. What a success story the adoption of the GT4 regulations has been for IMSA in Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge. ST with 18 cars on the grid. There will be a third class potentially next year with the TCR category cars being integrated into Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge. It looks like we're going to get another formation lap. So because of the short nature here, getting heat into the tyres after the cars have been standing for quite a while in the false grid and then in the pit lane itself, I think this is a smart thing to do to get the guys out and round the circuit, make sure the tyres are clean as well as warm, Jeremy.
Yes, indeed, because it's going to get very, very exciting down at turn 1 at Big Bend for the first time here. It's the fastest part of the course heading in, even on the away from the rolling start, to be heading well over 120 miles an hour, heading as they head towards that first corner in a heavy braking zone. And that's we can expect a lot of action down there. Hopefully everybody will make it through. We're going to have a nice clean race thereafter. Sun's sort of trying to poke its way through, isn't it, at the moment? We were hearing this morning from the weather forecasters that it's going to be pretty much overcast all the way through the day. Certainly there is some cloud cover, but I think it's the first time we've really seen shadows on the cars this morning.
Yeah.
Lights are out, however. And that BMW pace car, which would become a safety car if it is in action again. There's 2 V8 cars on the outside of the first and second rows. A Chevy Camaro on the outside of the front row. That reminder again, the car that won last time out at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It's just its third series start, and the Ford Mustang already run twice this season right behind it.
The pole sitter is on the inside, which is not necessarily the preferred line as they come across to get the green flag. It's in hand. Trent Hinman versus Matt Bell. The green flag is waved, and a fabulous jump from Trent Hinman. Played his cards absolutely perfectly, and Matt Bell will drop into second place, but he was down by 3, maybe 3.5 car lengths as he went across the start-finish line. In ST, Chad McCumbee and Chris Stone have managed to hold off, and there's a conflagration at the back of the GS grid. It's the 30, no, it's not, it's the 59 car, isn't it, that's gone around, and also one of the 2 MIA stroke C360R McLarens, and that car was going Green, backwards across the grass.
Yeah, Chris Green and Jack Rouse Jr. getting together there at turn 2 at the exit of Big Bend.
And the ST Championship leader also involved there, the 56 car, the bright orange Cayman, going very slowly, may have picked up some damage. We'll see them as they come through at the end of the first lap of the Lime Rock 120 for the Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge, live on IMSA Radio and TV. Hinman from Bell by half a second, then Dylan Murcutt going through in third position. Paul Holton in fourth for McLaren. Fifth position is Alan Brynjolfsson in the Ford, then Till Bechtolsheimer in the 33, with Matt Keegan shown in 7th position as they came through this time. Then Chad McCumbee leads the Mazda Hordes, and there are 3 of them, 25, 34 and 27. Now, what happened at the first corner? Yeah, they definitely got together coming out of Big Bend with the Fords trying to get around the outside of the McLaren and just running out of room. Was Porsche involved there in front as well? Was there? No, there wasn't.
Looks like the McLaren there just sort of turned around somehow there, and the Ford was sort of kind of in the mix as well. Don't know what happened though to the Murillo Racing Porsche Cayman, because that was certainly something completely separate.
The Ford is pitting still with the advertising hoarding on the nose of the car. Shea Adam is down in the pit lane.
Well, I think it's the Ford. I can't actually tell because it's just a white Ford driving straight at me. Thankfully, though, the way that the sign is positioned on the front of the car, it is not impeding the driver at all. The Patron logo falls off the front, brings a little bit of water with it, and that's all it took. The 59 is already back out. But as we know, if you make an unplanned pit stop in this series, you're going to go down the better part of a lap and might just lose it.
Surprised, well, yes, I suppose they didn't want to lose the lap and they were close to doing that. I was going to say I'm surprised they didn't splash at the end of that, but they didn't.
And the reason for that is to make that stop as quick as possible and try to get out without losing that lap.
Absolutely packed in the camping areas. Huge crowd on hand for the Lime Rock Park 120 as part of the IMSA celebration of GT racing here in Connecticut, and action already. The 56 car dropped to 16th in class. I mean, that's 17th as Aurora Strauss has just gone through in the 18 Porsche. Jeff Mosing then, championship leader by 21 points coming in here, and Aurora Strauss is off the circuit. The chrome-sided car, the 18 Cayman, that was at Big Bend. And is there someone off on the front straight as well? Just saw some, no, that's all right. So meantime, down the field, Alan Brynjolfsson has Till Bechtolsheimer behind. Trent Hinman unable to break the toe at the moment. Just 0.8 of a second ahead of Matt Bell, and Dylan Murcutt, similar position behind in third position. Porsche, Chevy, Porsche, McLaren, Ford, Porsche. So Brynjolfsson and Bechtolsheimer, get that in your report. Try and work that one out in 140 characters. So what happened to Aurora Strauss? She was trying to go by one of the minis. Oh dear. Jeff Mosing getting very, very sideways and hard to see if there was a touch there or whether they were both going in too quickly. But Jeff was right up on the inside curb.
And trying to make up ground, of course,
Correct.
having had been off the road at the first corner.
Absolutely, Jeremy, good point. Can't see any damage at all to the right rear corner of Aurora Strauss's car, which is where the contact would have been. But Jeff was sideways in a most exuberant way over the right-hand curb on the entrance to the first part of Big Bend. And that is a dangerous place to overtake, or to try and overtake. Nick Gallant's just tried the exact same move, but backed out of it as Drake Kemper was later on the brakes. Jeff Mosing in the pit lane. Shea Adam, this is our ST Championship leader.
And he did not stop in his box, John. This could be a naughty step visit. No, indeed, a drive-through penalty for the number 56. I'll ask Johnny Knotts what that was for.
Thank you, Shea. He is back out, and he still hasn't lost the lead in class. Contact with the 18 called very quickly indeed. He's now last in his class, bar Aurora Strauss, who is yet to come through, so he is 17.
No, she is a lap down, but has continued
on GS, but not ST.
Correct.
Yeah, so still in class on the lead lap.
Correct.
So as it stands at the moment, if there was to be a safety car, then we would be okay for them to get back up to their class leaders. The Minis trying to force their way through the field as well. And that's the 73 car going by the 81 BMW, because they were sitting right in behind Sarah Catania, who's in 11th position in the 44 Nissan Altima. That's the black and purple car.
Great battle going on there for 9th place heading into Big Bend. Number 21 car, Chuck Quinton, trying to hold off the Aston Martin of Rob Ecklin Jr. Battles all the way up and down the field. That's exactly what we expect from this Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge.
So Hindman leads. Last lap around was the best lap of the race, 55.7, and all of a sudden that 0.8 has doubled, 1.8 seconds near enough. But Matt Bell has pulled out too. He's added another half a second to his lead and more, as Dylan Merkin holds on to third in the 28 Porsche. Camaro, Porsche. I suppose I should say Cayman Camaro Porsche. Cayman, rather. Then McLaren. Then the Ford Mustang. Alan Brynjolfsson in that bright yellow number 7 with the dark grey Darth Cayman number 33. Side-by-side action in the Mini and the Ford getting together, coming out of Big Bend and through left-hander at turn 3. And that was the 37 car, which is Mike Lamara, as Jack Rouse Jr. was muscling his way through in the Mustang. And side-by-side contact there, the Mini coming off the worst, as you might imagine.
Yeah,
Podium last time out for that 37 car, remember?
Not a very fair fight, that one. But no, you're right. And Mike Lamar did a brilliant job last time out. A former champion along with Terry Borchell, I think it was back in 2012 in ST, but rejoined the series toward the end of last year with the Mini team. A full campaign this year for Mike Lamara, and having another really, really good run in this race.
So Hindman, Bell, Merkert, Holton, Brynjolfsson, top 5, 13 seconds between those three.
Yeah.
And a great battle going on as Jack Rouse Jr. comes through the field. He's got in front of, he's got Trent Hindman right behind him. He's trying to stay on the lead lap, or is he trying to get his last lap back? No, he must be trying to stay on the lead lap, surely that, Jeremy.
Who?
Jack Rouse Jr.
Yes, indeed, trying to stay on the lead lap overall, that's right.
Yeah, Trent Hindman, he's there.
He's stretching away now from Matt Bell. It's Trent Hindman, our overall race leader in that car number 12, that Trimtex car, and he would love to put that Ford Mustang a lap down, because he knows that car is very, very effective in the hands of Jack Rouse Jr. and Dean Martin. They're both former winners in this category, and Trent would love to get past him. He's trying now as they come out of Big Bend.
Danger time for Hindman, though, because Trent is trying to make positions, his own positions. These are actually positions for the overall as far as Jack Rouse Jr. is concerned. He's now up to 25th position, and Sarah Cattaneo has been bumped down just a little bit. She's lost a couple of places in the last couple of laps, and he's gone through going up the uphill. And, well, you wouldn't go down the uphill, would you? That would be all wrong. The Coe Motorsports.
Be a big accident.
Yeah. Machine going through, and Matt Bell closing in traffic to Trent Hinman. Hinman being stymied, but he has to play the conservative game here through traffic, and more importantly, he does not need to get involved with that big Ford Mustang. Yes, he wants to put him a lap down if he can, but he can't afford any damage. And there's a huge off right in front of the leader, and somehow Hinman misses it. It's again one of the minis involved. It was the 73 car. Right in there was Michael Johnson in the BMW. He managed to get around it as well. But I think that was Tim Probert who was nerfed out the way. Michael Johnson in the yellow BMW getting passed by the 73 Mini, and the Mini taking way too much speed into the back end of the Porsche, into the right-hander at Big Bend, and on the inside there, the whole race flashing before the eyes of Trent Hinman.
Yeah, that was a bit brave there, I think, by Derek Jones, number 73 car. Dived down the inside, carried a bit too much speed, hit the back end of poor Tim Probert, who was really minding his own business at that point, and spun them both out. So I think we might be, the stewards might be in action again.
It has allowed Matt Bell to close to about half a second, and Dylan Merkitt's right there, the 28 Porsche, as well, as they go across the line. And the top three now separated by just 1.5 seconds. Remember, I don't know why I'm telling you this, dear viewer and listener, because you know this. I'm not sure the drivers do. This is a 2-hour race.
Look at those two.
This is a 2-hour race.
Look, that's that 21 and number 99 have been side by side the last couple of laps heading into Big Bend. It's a brilliant battle between Chuck Quinton and Rob Ecklin Jr. They are having so much fun in that battle for 9th place overall.
Cars getting really light over the top of the brow from the uphill. And we have still got an hour and 48 minutes of this, Jeremy.
Yeah. Game on again also in ST, because all of a sudden Chad McCumbee has been closed upon by Christopher Stone. Those two pretty much nose to tail right now.
GS leader will be on those guys next lap by, so that will be the leaders in ST going a lap off the overall lead. It's an extraordinary race here already, exactly as we expected, because whilst it stays green, after the first 3 laps, it will be traffic for everybody, and the GS cars coming through. This is the skill of multi-class racing. This is where you learn your craft. Passing and being passed under these circumstances is a skill that you must know. The other great battle, by the way, is Alan Brynjolfsson, the Icelandic driver, and Till Bergdolsheimer, 5th and 6th overall, and in GS, of course. Ford versus Porsche, and they're fighting their way through traffic as well, and they've not been a car's length apart since the start of the race. Coming up to Sarah Cattaneo now in the 12th place ST car, the Nissan Altima, onto the front straight. Bergdolsheimer right underneath the rear wing of the bright yellow Ford as they cross the line in front of us and head down towards Big Bend. The C.J. Wilson racing car in 6th position now, 16 seconds away from the lead. Jeremy Shaw's watching Chuck Quinton and Rod Ecklin Jr. as they went by again in the 21 and 99 Porsche in Aston. I
can only see one car because they're absolutely side by side.
As they crossed the line, there were 0.024 of a second between them in the favour of Chuck Quinton in the 21 Porsche.
They are hooting inside those cars at the moment, I can tell you.
I think they did 3/4 of a lap side by side the last time around. 68 good through traffic.
Around here.
No, Matt Keegan has recovered, and the McLaren, remember, that's a borrowed car for Matt Keegan, flashing his lights. This is another good run for him, and he's now gaining on that battle for 5th position between Brynjolfsson and Bergdolsheimer in the 7 Ford and the 33 Porsche, and he's dragging Russell Ward with him as well. He's just gone past Russell, but Russell is holding on to the back bumper of the 68 McLaren, the blue and white car. The leading MIA car at the moment, Chris Green, in the 69 car, sitting down in 11th place after that first lap incident. Leaders in ST through the final corner. Need to take a breather myself here. Going to have a lie down in a darkened room. The Chad McCumbee, Chris Stone battle. Half a second between the two Mazdas.
Yeah, and Matt Fastnet looked a little bit closer on that lap as well to me.
And let me have a look at his time. Jeremy, you're absolutely right. He did a 59.8 last time around. So he's there or thereabouts. And
Indeed, so the battles indeed. There is that battle for ST, and it is the pole sitter Chad McCumbee who still leads, but by less than half a second over Christopher Soane. Those two, well, the top three now in class are all Mazda MX-5s.
Now, before this gets bonkers, we've got a guest in our broadcast booth. It's a very special one. We're celebrating 60 years of Lime Rock Park this weekend, and PJ Jones has joined us to say hello. And in the 60 years, you are still the fastest man around here, PJ. Thanks for joining us.
Well, I just noticed I'm the only one here that doesn't have an accent. Well,
No,
I have a California accent, right?
Trust me, you do have an accent. Very, 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 very odd. Running without the chicane here, this is how you would have run this. What do you remember of that day, doing that ridiculously quick, 45-second lap? And were you aware of just how historic that day was going to be?
Well, you know, I think 43 seconds around here is... We had a chicane at the top of the hill. Because that was
the Morton chicane.
Yeah, the Morton chicane from our friend John Morton. It was amazing. I mean, honestly, coming down the hill is what I really remember. I mean, that hard right-hand turn, fast, high G, hard to turn the steering wheel. We didn't have power steering in those days.
And how much horsepower?
Well, they say, they don't ever say 1,000 horsepower, but I think we were pretty close. 10,000 pounds of downforce at 200 miles an hour, carbon brakes. I mean, you know, it was on kill. Just amazing car. I was so, you know, so proud that I was able to drive it.
And were you aware then, after that 43, when somebody said, oh, by the way, you've just done a 43, did you go, oh, okay, or did you go, wow, a 43?
Well, that car gave you that time. When you got into qualifying mode and you just sucked it up, and they did everything they could to get the thing to go faster, and you just physically said, well, in practice I was breathing it down there, I am not going to lift. Yeah. It answered. You answered the bell every time. I mean, the
everything
thing just
turned up to 11, including you.
It just always showed up on the stopwatch, and so we went that year. Went to Daytona, set the all-time track record, still holds. We came here, obviously, set the track record. We set the track record at Laguna Seca and about 2 or 3 other places. Fangio set, I think, Mid-Ohio. Now IndyCar's broken a few of them. But the car was amazing. I mean, it really was. I mean, like I said, I'm so happy that I was able to drive it.
And when we think, yes, IndyCar's broken a few of them, but when we think about the advances, particularly in tyre technology, since those days, I mean, how quick would that car now be with contemporary tyres on?
Well, I mean, you obviously could you know, take off a few seconds probably. But yeah, I mean, just the braking sensation in that car is also something that you remember. I mean, it was like something like 4 Gs or 3 Gs under braking, which is unbelievable.
And no ABS, by the way.
And yeah, and for the drivers today, you know, some of these sports car drivers would probably think they couldn't drive a car without traction control. But yes, we used to drive cars without traction control.
And a stick shift.
And a stick shift, H pattern.
Yeah,
to boot. Yeah, we were just working on sequential, but we never got it. And we were working on power steering that we never got.
So hang on, with all of that, you were heeling and towing at the same time?
Yes, I did. I heel-towed the same time. Yeah, wow. Absolutely.
So that was a proper car.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know, like I said, I mean, it's a 4-cylinder too, turbocharged 4-cylinder, and Toyota, even themselves, corporate Japanese Toyota, did not think that the American that we could win a 24-hour race with a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and we did. We won Daytona and we won Sebring.
PGA Jones with us in the booth. Matt Keegan having a look down the inside of Till Bechtolsheimer for 6th position. Brynjolfsson in that bright yellow Ford, just going through Big Bend with Bechtelsheimer, and now the white and blue McLaren, the 68 car, has gained right with them. 25 and 34, that's the two Mazdas, McCumbee and Stone still leading with Fastnack. Matt Fastnack is there now. He's within half a second of those two leaders. They're having a cracking scrap. And Nick Galante also trying to make up some time at the moment. He's battling with Liam Dwyer and Drake Kemper just a little bit further back up the road. So plenty of action still to go, an hour and 40 minutes still to go here at the Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge in the 120 at Lime Rock. PJ Jones in the booth with Jeremy Shaw and myself. You're signing some autographs here this weekend up on the midway. The Eagle's not here, but there's some pretty cool cars up there.
Oh, I saw a little peek of it. Yeah, there's some nice stuff up there. I think everybody needs to come up and check it out. And they're giving some Eagle postcards away that have a little profile of what we did back in '93. And yeah, you know, so you got to.
Does it seem like yesterday? Or does it seem a long time ago?
It seems like a long time ago. I feel old, but yeah, no, I was really young then, and I'm only middle-aged now. And
spinning the final corner, it is the 75 Audi S3, and that is Rob Block who's gone around, but he's managed to get hold of it and point it in the right direction.
Trent Hinman was really slow coming past start-finish lane. He's got the...
he might lose the lead, actually.
Yeah, Camaro challenging around the outside into Big Bend.
Yeah, as they come out of Big Bend, we'll pick them up. The leaders have just gone through in ST. Dylan Murcutt not that far away, a 101. I wonder if he was held up by that spin then, by the 75 car. Yes, he was. Yes. It was right in front of him. And once again, the Mustang is involved there, Jeremy, down the inside. And Trent, he had to go around the outside. And I tell you what, the Audi, if they'd let off the brakes there, that was the leader. And it was bump and run from the 59. So that is another incident for Jack Rouse Jr. He is having what can only be described as an eventful day. He's worked himself up to 13th from pretty much right at the back of the grid, having had to stop and have the advertising sign taken off the front of the 59 Mustang. He's now at the 13th at the back of the GS field, and he's just stopped himself from going a lap down there.
I'll tell you what, I think Ryan Block there, I don't think Jack Rouse Jr. did anything wrong. He was coming to the inside line, and the Audi should have seen him coming and let him go, I believe, in that particular incident. Luckily, everybody got away with it, particularly Trent Hinman, and he is in the lead of this race again, has resumed his pace. PJ, very quickly, you've driven a lot of different cars. You're now driving Robbie Gordon's stadium truck things. Where does that Eagle, which are really crazy. I mean, you've driven a lot of really silly cars, a lot of sprint car driving, midgets, you name it. What was the most fun car you've ever driven?
Well, I mean, I get that question. The Eagle obviously was, I mean, right there. I mean, when you're able to go to places like this in Laguna and set track records and win a lot of races, I mean, that was probably the height of success in my career. I also right now currently drive in the Best in the Desert and in the Score series, the Baja 1000. I drive a trophy truck for Terrible Herps. And that's a $500,000 car with 900 horsepower and 30 inches of wheel travel, and you're in there for 4, 5, 6 hours, and it's unbelievable.
I understand, John. He's not a hooligan, this guy.
No, not at all. Hooning around is obviously in the blood.
You've got your boys now coming up behind you. How's Jagger doing, PJ?
Jagger's awesome. He's doing the NASCAR Late Model Series out west. He's at Kern Speedway in Bakersfield tonight.
He's how old now?
He is almost 15. Yeah, so he's #1. He's the head rookie in California, and I think he's like 5th in the country. So he's doing good. He's only run about 12 or 13 races, and he's getting there. I think his best finish has been 3rd. And the little guy Jace is running legend cars.
PJ will be at the top of the hill on the midway here from around about half an hour's time up on the midway. And if you're up there quickly and one of the first few people, you'll get one of those hero cards, the special hero cards. Toyota have just made their 4-cylinder turbocharged Japanese Super GT engine available to privateers, which is, it's not the 1,000 horsepower that you probably had, but I bet you it's a good 600 or 700 now. So that in the back of a DPI or something like that chassis would be quite interesting. Might that tempt you back?
Hey, everybody thinks, okay, turbo lag, but we had a guy named Drino Miller, and he did all the engine development with Dave Wilson, who now runs TRD. And we had like instant power. I mean, the thing was so torquey and so responsive. It's amazing with the turbocharged technology today, and that was, 1993. Can you imagine, all the technology they have today? So, I mean, the turbocharged is probably where it's at.
PJ, thanks for being with us. I know you've got to hustle up to the midway. Thanks, and good luck with the continued bonkers racing. Absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A little bit of action at turn number 2, as we were just finishing up with PJ there, and Russell Ward getting the worst of it as the 59 comes through for a drive-through.
Oh.
That is contact from the 59 car, and that was on the 75, and yeah, that was McLaren on Porsche action.
I think that's a bit harsh.
So that would have been Chris Green coming back through the field on Russell Ward, and the CJ Wilson car going for a bit of rallycross action. The lead is still just a second, so whatever, well, we know what was ailing Trent Hinman, nothing at all. What he was doing was keeping the car in the race as the 75 was spinning in front of him. And off at the top of the hill at West Bend, the Aston Martin, number 3, Christopher Lyons, has gone round, and that was contact again, and that was Rob Eklund Jr. in the 99 car. So Aston on Aston there at the top of the hill. And again, well, 2 cars to the apex is not going to go. Somebody has to have the sense to say, let's give the corner up here. Not a portion and blame anyway, but at some stage, you've got to either go round side by side or not, and not take the apex or back out of it.
Well, the number 3 car had been holding up the 99 car, which had closed up rapidly, having that had a spin earlier on. He'd had a wonderful battle with the 21 car.
The leader again,
exactly. Well, those two have been trying to stay ahead of Trent Hinman over the last several laps. That's why there was so much desperation there, and that's why Rob Eklund Jr. wanted to get past him. I'm not sure he was close enough at
First, second,
and
third, Jeremy. Now, just 0.8 of a second as they come round to the line to complete their 28th lap. So all that traffic and that incident, and by the way, for Roy Block, well done on keeping on the brakes, because if he'd let off the brakes there, the leader would have been involved in that accident. Hinman had to decide left or right. He chose left, and that Audi could easily have spun across the road in front of him. It didn't, and he's still in the race. Hinman, Bell, Merkert together, and Paul Holton is only another half second further back in the 76 car.
No, those 4 cars absolutely nose to tail now, and that is a battle. I mean, they've been held up behind number 3, number 99, and the 59, or the 59, the Ford, until it got its drive-through penalty. That left just the 2 Astons dicing away, and now it's just the number 99 car who's trying to stay on that lead lap. That is Rob Eklund Jr.
Rob is doing the right thing. He's holding his racing line. The leader, Trent Hinman, waving left and right, letting him know that he's there, trying to find a gap. Now, he will be getting blue flags, but you can understand him wanting to try and stay on the lead lap. They're going down to the first corner, almost side by side, and Rod just... See, now that was really smart driving from Rob. He realised the leader's up the inside, and at that point, he breathes and turns it a tiny second later, and the leader has gone through. He did his best. I don't have any issue with that at all. None at all. He's trying to stay on the lead lap. That's his job.
Yeah, Paul Holton, by the way, got past Dylan Merkert on that last lap. Number 76, McLaren, therefore, ahead from the number 28 RS1 Porsche Cayman.
And that was for third.
Indeed, third and fourth. So Trent Hinman's, he'd be relieved now to have that Aston behind him. Now he can put his head down and try and eke out that lead again that he had up to a couple of seconds or more some time ago over the 57 Corvette, Camaro.
And the best thing for him is that Paul Holton is beginning to give Matt Bell a little bit of strife and making Matt look in his mirrors. Pulls out from the final corner and tries to go through. Don't think he's going to be quite close enough. A little bit of grass cutting for the number 3 Aston for Christopher Lyons, and that was right in front of Jack Roush Jr. So Jack's gone back through. So even with his drive-through and now off the lead lap, Jack Roush Jr. has improved his position. Remember, right at the back of the field after an off early on. And the 59 car now up into 12th position, but crucially off the lead lap. Rob Eklund Jr., by the way, doing a pretty good job holding on to Trent Hinman, and off Oh no, this is a disaster. Porsche Cayman just on the entrance to Big Bend, to West Bend. The leader has gone through that area. I think it's Russell Ward. It is Russell Ward. Full course caution. Now I wonder if that's a suspension or a driveline issue caused by him going off the track at the exit of turn 2, the exit of Big Bend. They had a problem in practice yesterday, and Russell Ward has come to a halt. He took a wild ride after being ushered gently off the track earlier. The Porsche Cayman waiting for the Porsche Cayenne GTS. You have no idea how badly I want a Porsche Cayenne GTS. Fantastic piece of kit. 2 of them that we use here for the IMSA fast response vehicles. Now, we've got a BMW safety car that is gone through. The M Series car passing, didn't pick up the leader. That is an M2, and that has overtaken 3 or 4 cars before the incident to get to the leader, Trent Hinman, who slowed down to let it go through. Now Trent, of course, has got Rob Eklund Jr. behind him before Matt Bell, Paul Holton and Dylan Merkitt. So 12 Porsche leads and is right behind the safety car at the moment. And Shea Adam can update us on the CJ Wilson 35 car.
Fuel pump issue. The crew is already running back to the garage area. The 35 will be towed back there. They're going to try and change it and get it back out. Championship points being valuable. They want to get this car to the finish.
Damien Faulkner will take that car over. The wave by is underway for cars that are trapped between the safety car and their class leader. That'll just be ST cars then coming around.
Correct.
Because the safety car has got the leader of the race. So 1 or 2 have been waved by, if you're seeing that here at the circuit. IMSA Radio and IMSA TV together, perfectly synced in sound and vision with an hour and a half to go. Jeremy Shaw.
Yeah, and this caution, particularly good news for the 2 MIA cars. The number 68 McLaren that had worked its way nicely through there, running very, very well indeed, considering the fact that Matt Keegan has had very little time in that particular car. And particularly, though, number 69 car, Chris Green, who was involved in that incident on the very first lap. He's worked his way all the way through the field now and up into 6th position, and having a big deficit, those 2 McLarens to the front 4, that deficit now been erased completely.
Yeah, and they've both got by that battle between the large B names, Brynjolfsson and Bechtelsheimer. That battle has not been affected by that. Those 2 guys are still having the scrap, and the McLarens have kind of ghosted through it, which I'm not entirely certain how they've managed to do that without breaking that fight up. Pits are open for GS, and we will have some takers. 33 minutes on the clock, and in comes the 2nd, 3rd and 4th place cars. Here's Shea Adam.
57 Stevenson Camaro pulls to a stop, no driver change, but they are doing new tires for that vehicle. Matt Bell will continue to drive it. Not even a drinks bottle change for Matt. He's tough. 35 is getting fuel and tires as well. They're doing the left sides right now on both of the cars previously mentioned. They are going for right sides as well on the 57. The 28 RS1 Porsche is also in. No driver change there. They have put sticker tires on the right side of the car, not changing the left. And for the 76 McLaren, they are doing 4 new tires for Paul Holton and a lot of fuel. Interesting strategy playing out, especially for the 28. Now they pull the fuel out. 28 is the first to leave, but also the only car that did 2 tires. Everybody else did 4. As Matt Bell pulls away, as in the background, the 35 is towed back to the garage area.
Yeah, the 76 McLaren, they do struggle with just that one wheel gun and man to change the tyres, because they've got a single centre lug nut. They're only allowed the 1. I think, and they will be the last guys to come out, I think the issue that they've got there is swapping the gun from tight to tighten to slacken. I think what I'd do is go around and slacken all the wheels off, and then take them off, and then go round and slacken or tighten them all back on again. Oh, they've dropped the car. The wheel's not on the left rear. Shit, Adam.
They dropped the car, as you said, and the wheel immediately came back out on the wrong angle. Now they're having to pull the car back a little bit so that they can put the air gun back in. They're getting it back over the wall. Meanwhile, the ST pit stops are beginning as the 76 is still fumbling. Now it goes up. Wow, the wheel actually fell off on its own as the car went up on the hijack. So ST stops. We've got the 26. We have the 26 tires only. They're doing the left sides right now. The fuel is going on. The 76 had no wheel nut on that car, actually, when they did it. Now they fixed it. Now it's going back out as the 57 comes back around, so it's got at least one lap lost and to the people they were battling in the pit lane. The 75, the Audi that had the spin at the final turn, is in. They are getting 4 sticker tires for that car. 17 came in. They did 2 tires only and a whole lot of fuel, as that's the sound of the 26 going back out. Only car left on the pit lane now is the 75 Audi.
No driver changes in any of those pit stops, Jeremy.
That's correct, because there is a 45-minute minimum drive time. Right now, we're only about 35 minutes, so 10 minutes before that driver change can be effected.
Yeah. Just when I was talking about that McLaren, I think the McLaren teams need to go and have a bit of a think about how they do their tyre changes.
Trust me, they put a lot of thought into them. And the problem is, it's not a GT3 wheel where you can just put it on the gun and slap it on and off you go. You have to, the threads on the McLaren 570S, the GT4 car, is much tighter, it's very easy to cross-thread it. You actually have to put the wheel nut on, turn it by hand, and then tighten it up. Otherwise, you risk cross-threading it, which I think is exactly what happened on that number 76 car there.
A puff of fire extinguisher out of the back of the 59, Adam?
I think that was a little bit of an accident, actually, because the fuel gun went in, and then there was the fuel man coming over the wall, and as he got into position, that's when the puff of smoke came out. But I didn't see any flames. I'm right across from it.
And that's the lap down cars that are coming in, the 3 Aston and the 59 Jack Rouse Jr. car. Yeah, I just think only having one wheel gun, Jeremy, I noticed how much time the wheelman had to spend at each wheel swapping over, hitting the gun to swap it over from lefty-loosey to righty-tighty. And I reckon if you went round and loosened everything off, then changed the tyres, and then went round and put all of the wheel nuts back on, you'd only have to change the wheel gun direction once rather than 4 times. And I think that would save time, and I think it would also help because the wheel gun is quite difficult to get on and off the wheel nuts. Quite a couple of times I noticed there on the 76 car they were having to hit it to get it off particularly. So you want to be doing that in a slightly more ordered manner. 1 hour 22 minutes to go, so we've cycled through all of the pit stops. No reason not to go green next time around, and I think the M2 safety car lights have gone off. Yes, they have, as they go around Big Bend. So Trent Hinman will restart with still a car between himself and second place. But second place now is a McLaren, not the Camaro. Now the question here is, will they reset the fields, Jeremy, or will those GS cars have to start at the back of the ST fields, behind the ST cars that didn't pit?
No, I think they can pull through ahead of the ST cars.
I'll give you that, because Till Bechtelsheimer is the last man in the GS field, and he's the last man on the lead lap. So, yes, that's correct. Jack Rouse Jr. and Christopher Lyons are the guys doing catch-up because they pitted afterwards, trying to get one of their laps back.
Or their lap back.
Yeah, which they haven't done.
No, they're still one lap down.
One lap down.
So the number 99 car stayed out.
99 car stays out. It is on the end of the lead lap, and therefore is between.
No,
it's green.
It's right directly behind.
Sorry, it's behind the leader. Yes. The 2 McLarens rather held each other up, and that's allowed Trent Hinman to get a clean start down in the first corner, and Christopher Green comes down the inside and takes second place. Third in the line. Round the outside, though, Matt Bell has had a brilliant restart and splits the 2 McLarens. That's a new set of Continentals on that Camaro, and that's the extra grip clearly seen round the outside of Big Ben there on the first corner of the restart, and he's having a look down the inside on No Name Straight. He's got position if he can hold on to that spot on the circuit. Meantime, the RS1 Porsche number 28 with Dylan Murcutt at the helm of that car. He's going to have to give best as well, I feel, as he's got McLaren trouble. He's in behind Brynjolfsson, and Bechtelsheimer is right there as well. So this is all beginning to heat up on the restart. Not for Trent Hinman, though. He had the advantage of a car between himself and his competitors. Brynjolfsson is going to cede his 5th position to Dylan Murcutt, who tries to get down the... Well, he's got through. Murcutt's gone through. And now Bechtelsheimer has a go. So Brynjolfsson and Bechtelsheimer are once again in the same spot on the track. Dylan Murcutt, in fact, has just dropped behind. It was the McLaren of Paul Holton that was pushing through there. Oh, and 2 minis involved coming out of turn 2, and this will be a full course yellow as the 73 car hits the... Oh, no, he's got going. I'll take that back. That mini built of stronger stuff than I thought. It was the 52 and the 73. It's Nate Norenberg in the 52, the black and yellow car, and he got that point in the right direction. Derek Jones in the 73.
We're battling over 6th place.
That looks like a left front tyre. Oh, and now I think there might have been a helping front bumper from the Aurora Strauss car that was right in behind them, which started that off. Because for sure, there was all kinds going on behind actually, but certainly there was contact there, and the 52 car was pushed in to the 73 as it was spinning. 73 just minding its own business, and Derek Jones, yeah, well, yes, Derek Jones trying to stay out of the way. In ST, it's still the 3 Mazdas, by the way, McCumbie, Stone and Fasnacht. 25, 34 and 27, your leaders. James Clay in the BMW. Easy to spot that one, yellow with the white stripe over it. James Clay in that BMW with Ross Kemper next up in ST. Meantime, down into turn 1, Alan Brynjolfsson, oh, defending very stoutly and just easing down towards the apex there as the Porsche came up the inside, and that was Dylan Murcutt. Murcutt's got through, but not without a little scrape on the side of the Porsche. This is all getting a bit serious here on Saturday morning. Just after 11 o'clock in the morning here at Lime Rock Park. IMSA Radio and TV together from trackside. ST leaders on No Name Straight with the Fasnacht 3rd place, 27, just a couple of 3 MX5 lengths behind.
Matt Bell is flying in that number 57 car, isn't he? Just he's closing in this lap on the race leader.
Yeah, Matt Bell with brand new tyres, remember, has fought his way past the 2 McLarens. And this strategy of Trent Hinman starting the race hasn't worked for them. '76 drive-through for leaving the pit with equipment attached. And that was the wheel gun. Well, in fairness, it wasn't attached. That was the problem. Didn't have a wheel nut on that left rear. Now that will have championship implications, won't it?
It only went about, well, a couple of feet, didn't it? But because it stopped and was pulled back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it was an unsafe release, effectively. Just 3 points behind in the championship at the moment.
Look at the battle for the lead.
Battle for the lead on the front straight, goes through the start-finish line. Battle for the lead in ST. Halfway around the circuit. In fact, just coming down to the final corner. And the 2 Mazdas, now the 3 Mazdas. With in behind them, Jack Rouse Jr. trying to make up ground. My thought there, Jeremy, with Trent Hinman now just ahead by a 1/10 of a second, is that this strategy, and it was a risky strategy, they knew that any kind of yellow flag was going to mire them in the pack, and the lead has changed. Matt Bell's gone through and leads now by 0.3 of a second, and this is bad news for Trent Hinman. Matt Bell with new tyres. Everybody's got to stop again, and Matt Bell now, can he set sail whilst he's got a little bit of track ahead of him? There's a mini, but it's the full distance of the start-finish line ahead of him. The pass happened into turn 1 the last time around, as we suggested it might have. Trent Hinman down the inside, trying to cover, but the new Continental tyres with a little extra grip, enough to allow Matt Bell to drive all the way around the outside, unencumbered, hold a nice tight line into turn 3, the left-hander, and he has made his escape. Good driving by Matt Bell. Now, Christopher Green is 5.5 seconds further back, but remember that McLaren didn't stop, neither did the 68. Till Bechtelsheimer is in 5th position, and the 59 car is in the pit lane. Shea Adam.
No crew members even close to coming over the wall, John. This is most curious. Dean Martin pulled to a stop on his marks exactly where he should be, and the car in front of them, actually the 21, sorry, Jack Ross Jr., the 21 is planning to come in and put Cameron Lawrence in the car as soon as that 45-minute drive time was up. But the 59 has come in, the car is off, the driver is getting out, there's no driver ready to get in as the 76 pulls in to make that drive-through penalty for the pit equipment infraction. I have no idea what's going on with the 59. I don't think the crew does either, John.
The 3 car, the Aston, came down along pit lane as well, but that's gone out with still Christopher Lyons at the wheel, according to my timing and scoring. We'll see if we can get a definite from Shea and a Continental Tire pit lane report on that. But if that was drive time related, you would have thought, with 45 minutes having just elapsed. So that was another penalty for the 3 car, okay? And the 26, Liam Dwyer is in the pit lane. He's done his 45 minutes. And the Shea, was that Russell Ward's car that I saw coming back out again?
And Russell behind the wheel. Great job by the CJ Wilson mechanics to get that Porsche fixed so quickly. Liam Dwyer is out of the 26, and Andrew Carbonell is now behind the wheel of that Mazda, the Freedom Autosport car. They are not doing tires because they did that when the caution was out, so they've just done fuel. And now Andrew Carbonell goes back out as the 21. That's the Mueller Motorsports car. Chuck Quinton's job is done for the day, and now it's all up to Cameron Lawrence as he comes in. 21 hits as Marks has to slightly dodge the Ford. The terminal sign has been given for this Ford, the number 59, as the engine cover has gone up and the mechanics are just sort of looking around trying to figure out what's going on. Perfectly clean pit stop down here for the 21, though. I'll keep an eye on it for you, John.
Thank you. Russell Ward back into the race, having completed 30 laps. The leaders have completed 45. It's going to be a long, long rest of the race for Russell and for Damien Faulkner. But they should be able to get some points in the GS category and try and grab some team points for CJ Wilson as well. 3 Mazdas over the top of the skyline at the uphill, just skirting with disaster, flirting with disaster rather, on the edge of the track there, as the Stevenson Camaro is in traffic and in between a couple of battling Porsches there. It's the 65 of Tim Probert and Aurora Strauss that he's in amongst at the moment.
It's a long stop for the 21 car here. The tyre change not yet completed.
And another off for the 3 car. Christopher Lyons at the left-hander. He didn't turn left, that is. Brynjolfsson side by side again. This time it's with Matt Keegan. And Keegan somehow finds a way through in the borrowed McLaren. Remember, that's not their team car. The 68 car is a borrowed car, and so he's got to give it back exactly how he took it out. It's like having the world's most expensive hire car, isn't it? And he carves his way through. So Keegan then back up to 6th position. Meantime, in the pit lane, the 1-7, Nick Galante in in the RS1 Porsche. Shea?
Not anymore. It's Spencer Pumpelly's turn behind the wheel of our ST champions from the last year, 2016. They are doing 4 new tires on that Porsche. They've already done the left side. Now they finish the right. They're just waiting on the fuel at this point in time. Almost dropped the car on the air gun. That would have been a big mistake, as they're also getting ready for the sister car, the 18, and the GS sister car, the 28, to come in here shortly as well. But Nick Galante handing over happily to Spencer Pumpelly, even though this is Nick's home track.
And just keeping an eye on the championship leader, Jeremy. Jeff Mosing, remember, with issues earlier on, involved in that first lap incident and dropped way down, now up to 14th position in class and 25th overall, but working his way gently back through the field. This, for the championship leaders, is all about damage limitation in the championship points run. Electrical issue for the 59 Ford. Steering, brakes, radio, and a number of other issues with
Apart
systems.
from that, everything's great.
Everything was great other than that. Yeah. So no further laps to be turned by the 59. So in 7 laps time, Russell Ward will be up into 12th position in GS for CJ Wilson. And that's all they've got to think about now in that car, just turning laps. Still leading in ST, the 2 Mazdas, separated by 0.3 of a second, 25 and 34. And Matt Frasnak is still just a second further back. Matt Bell has stretched to nearly 4 seconds ahead of Trent Hinman. This is good driving by Matt through the traffic. He's using the torque of that Chevy Camaro. It's a big car, but surprisingly light for its size, Jeremy, that Camaro.
Yeah, that certainly is. It's significantly lighter than the old Z28R that it replaced, massively so. In fact, this car is the new car, the GT4 car, it weighs in at 1495 kilograms, which is about still 140 kilograms more than the Porsche Caymans. It is lighter, however, than the Mustang by quite a substantial amount as well. It's about 35 kilos lighter than the Mustang, call it 75 pounds or so. So there is a big weight discrepancy in these cars, but as I say, this big Camaro, it did have that fresh set of tyres, and it's taken advantage of. Meanwhile, the leaders in ST all onto pit lane. It's an hour and 8 minutes remaining. They can make it to the end from here.
Shea, Adam.
25, which came in from the lead of ST, had McAleer get in. McCumbee got out. The 34, which is the Murillo racing car, has Simchek in and Stone out. McCumbee has done a brilliant pit stop, though. He got out of the car faster than I've ever seen him before, and McAleer beat everyone else back out on the pit lane. And the 27 drives out the pit lane. But, John, I'm standing on the pit wall. I can see the door. The driver plug for Britt Casey Jr., where his water and his radio goes, was dangling out the side of the door. 27 made it back out ahead of the 34, but they're going to have to bring Britt Casey Jr. back in to fix that.
Yeah, you're right. I can see that too.
It's bad luck.
And that must have happened just as they shut the door. So that is very bad luck. The leader, Matt Bell, now by 5 seconds. But Trent Hinman is holding back the rest of the hordes. 11 seconds between himself and the rest of the field, which are beginning to pack up behind Dylan Murcott in the 28 Porsche. Chris Green in the McLaren. Till Bechtelsheimer, now up to 5th position, has got by Brynjolfsson and Matt Keegan. So Bechtelsheimer up to 5th now and challenging Chris Green as this longish green flag run continues. Bechtelsheimer has made a stop, so has got the advantage of newer tyres than the cars around him, and he's beginning to make that work for him.
Yeah, and Dylan Murcott, he's got through that little group there and edging away now in that 3rd position. So once again, an RS1 team doing an excellent job there. They a podium finish last time out at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and looking to build upon that. And that team of the 2 Dylans are currently 5th in the points, but they're only 10 points out of the championship lead.
Well, I may have been a little hasty in calling time on the 59 Ford, because it's gone behind the wall. It's turned right at the end of the pit lane. So it did fire, though. I heard the unmistakable sound of a V8 rumbling past me. McLaren action down into turn 1, side by side, with Green and Keegan. Chris Green and Matt Keegan together battling for 5th position. And can't see round the corner from here to work out who came out ahead there. Bechtolsheimer just 0.4 of a second ahead of that battle and trying to chase down Dylan Murcutt, but he's now, Bechtolsheimer that is now in that huge group of ST cars. And Trent Hinman's got more traffic ahead of him as well. It will be the BMW that he catches the, I think I said that was yellow earlier on, it's the black and white car, the 84 car. James Clay is leading the ST category, but yet to stop. He's got Drake Kemper in the Porsche in second. Oh, last corner, huge crash. And dust thrown up. Now, there's at least one car involved in that. It looks like it's gone straight on. And couldn't identify it, but that was a very quick off to driver's left in the final corner. It's the 3 Aston Martin, Christopher Lyons, that's gone off in the final corner.
Craig Lyons.
Craig Lyons, excuse me, who's gone off in the final corner. And he's made it back into the pit lane. Shea Adam, there must be damage to that car. He went off at pace.
There is damage, but there's a bigger problem in the pit lane. The 35 has come to a halt in the merge lane, if you will, all the way down. So Lyons had to avoid that stopped car as he entered the pit lane. The 84 has come in, the BMW, Tyler Cook running around the side as James Clay unleashes his lengthy figure from behind the wheel of that number 84 car. The 31 has also come in, but that 35, the CJ Wilson car, which looked like it was going to be able to get back multiple positions as other GS cars fell out, is now being pushed back by 3 IMSA officials behind the wall. 68 McLaren has also come in. This is the one of Nico Ronde and Matthew Keegan. Matthew's job is done. Nico is sort of sitting on the pit wall. Now he lambers over and crawls in behind the wheel of that one. We've had both minis in the pit lane as well, but 84 with a great pit stop. I think they only did 2 tires on that, the right sides, if I'm correct, and put Tyler Cook in.
The damage, there's a big, big wheel mark on the right-hand front of that 68 Matt Keegan McLaren, and by was Craig Lyons lucky. He went off at pace at the final corner, the right-hander at the downhill at turn 7, and he clattered the barriers, having spun around. It's the left front that took the brunt of it, but they've taped that up. They build those Aston Martins strong up at Banbury. Aston Martin Racing, and the car is still receiving service at the moment, still waiting for Michael Johnson in the 54 car now, which leads. Michael Johnson leading for BMW, and that is the yellow BMW. So the 84 car of Tyler Cook has rejoined, having given up the lead. So it's just the top 3 now. Michael Johnson, Nate Nuremberg in the Mini number 52, that's the yellow and black Mini, and Sarah Cattaneo in the 44 Nissan Altima. In ST, those 3, Jeremy, leading, but yet to make their first stop. The number 3 Aston has given itself a black eye, a headlight missing, and the left-hand side has got Armco marks on it, but somehow that car is still running. So BMW 54, Mini 52, and Mazda number 25, Stephen McAlee, has just gone up into 3rd place. Now he has made his stop. So Stephen McAlee in the 25 is the leading car that's made his stop. In comes Michael Johnson from the lead of ST. And following him in is Sarah Cattaneo.
The best finishing position for this number 54 JDC Miller Motorsport car came at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park when Stephen Simpson managed to get it into 4th place after a brilliant first stint by Michael Johnson. Well, Michael's done it again here today, so who can tell where they will finish? They are doing the left side tires right now for the BMW. Michael's already out, Stephen's already in. For the Nissan, we have an interesting strategy called. Normally, they just do the front tires. They're doing that again here today, working on the left front first and then the right front as Sarah gets out and Owen Trinkler is in. very, very quick silver driver, Owen Trinkler, I think it's fair to say. The 65 has also come in. That is the Porsche from Marilla Racing that has all the minions on it. And Tim Probert has gotten out, but instead of it being Brent Mosing, it is Justin Piscatel behind the wheel of that car for this final stint. So that will be a very interesting car to watch. Tire change is done for the 54, and Steven Simpson is back out. Tire change, driver change is done for the 44, and the Nissan goes back out. And just waiting on the 65 is fueling still going on there.
That's a mega stop by JDC Miller Motorsports for the 54 car. Michael Johnson having done a great job. The 52 Mini then of Nate Norenberg leads. Now remember, that car had an accident earlier on when it was tagged by, I think, the 18 Aurora Strauss Porsche, and that car is now leading but owes us a pit stop. So with just, in fact, it's not leading anymore because Stephen McAleer has just gone through past us and was ahead by about a second. Matt Bell, 10 seconds to the good at the head of the field. Is this back-to-back victories for the 57 Stevenson Camaro? Their first win with this car in IMSA competition, last time out at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. As into the pit lane comes our championship leader, Jeff Mosing. Shea Adam with this Continental Tire pit lane report.
A new black mark on the nose of that orange and black Porsche, as there is a large tire rub mark from where Aurora Strauss in the 18 and the 56 with Jeff Mosing on the wheel came together. Well, Jeff's turn today is done. He has that back injury still lingering from a crash sustained at Watkins Glen, but he was expecting this track to be kind to it, and we can obviously tell that that was the case because Jeff, not being in a whole lot of pain, got out of the car and immediately turned around to help Eric Foss get back in. He does not look like a very stiff bunny at this point in time. They have changed all 4 cars. Fueling is done. And goodbye, Eric.
So under the hour still to run here. It's the Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge for the Lime Rock 120. That was Shea Adam, our Continental Tire pit lane reporter. Jeremy Shaw joins me, John Hindhaugh, in the IMSA Radio Broadcast Centre here, right on the finish line here at Lime Rock Park. Smashing day, really lovely conditions, a little bit of high cloud, but no worries with the weather. 52, Nate Norenberg out of that car with damage on the left front, and reverse gear just selected for a moment before it left the pit lane. Hope that doesn't cause them a problem with the officials. It has dropped down from the lead to somewhere just outside the top 10. It's Matt Pombo at the wheel of that car. We've got both the Pombos in the minis now. Of course we have.
That's handy.
Mark takes out 52. Matt is in 73. And they are together on the track. Pombo from Pombo then. And if the position changes, it'll be Pombo from Pombo. M Pombo from M Pombo, obviously. They are absolutely together. A little bit of rubbing on the left rear of the 52 car's Continental Tire. I think a relic of the bumping and boring that was going on. It's a very pre-loved looking 52, black and yellow Mini. I'll take that back. I don't think it is rubbing. I think it might be fluid coming out of that car. Nah, it's tyre rubbing. It's tyre rubbing on the left rear when he leans on it. So the little wheel arch extension, the fender extension, is just rubbing on the Continental Tire. So that might be a problem for that car. Pierre Kleineming is taking over the Audi number 75. The Mazdas are so loose at the top of the hill. Massive commitment up there on the uphill. 11.5 seconds now for Matt Bell, with Robin Liddell still to come.
Yeah, and the number 7 car, Alan Brilliofson, just got a lap down to the race leader, Matt Bell, who's really done a magnificent job in this race. Took advantage of that pit stop by the Stevenson Motorsports team. Great strategy. Gave him that fresh tyres. He got fantastic pace over Trent Hinman, who's now really struggling on a very old set of tyres and falling back at a pretty prodigious race, probably at least a half a second a lap. That gap has gone out now to over 12 seconds from first to second. Similar margin back to third place, the two Dylans.
Yeah, and that could have championship implications. It was a bold strategy, Jeremy. I understand why they tried it, but all you needed was what happened to happen. And fair play to Stevenson, and indeed to the other teams, because Bechtelsheimer and Merkert are still within shouting distance of that number 12 car, which is yet to change to its second driver. Here comes Alan Brynjolfsson with just under an hour to go, 56 minutes on the countdown clock, and in comes the Volt Lighting sponsored number 7 car. It will be a set of Continental tyres for that. Left-hand side being done first. Shea Adam is down in the pit lane.
The driver change is nearly complete, but unlike a lot of the other cars, they have a driver change assistant.
Sorry to bother you. Britt Casey Jr. with a problem out on the circuit in the 27 car. That's just gone back out from a top 3 position.
Yeah, he was running second.
Just through a drive-through. Thank you. Thank you, Shea. That's why he was slow. Carry on.
No props. So they have a driver change assistant for the number 7, the Ford Mustang. They have completed their Ford tire change, albeit 5 lug nuts to go. As the 57, the leader is in. Matt Bell's job is done as Robin Liddell, with his very identifiable blue and white Scottish helmet, runs over the wall and almost leaps into the car in one fluid motion as Matt Bell leaps over a tire changer trying to get back to the wall. They are doing fuel and the left side tires first. I see right side tires up on the wall. They're not changing the right side tires though. They've already done a 4 tire change on this car when it came in under the yellow. So they are doing left sides only.
Smart.
Driver change is still going on. The fueling is done. So they're having a little bit of issue getting Robin fully belted in. Again, they have a driver change assistant. The door is shut, and Robin is told, go get him, cowboy, as he does a nice burnout onto the fast lane and exits. So now it's all up to Robin Liddell.
Yeah, and he will drop down through the order after that pit stop. He exits pit lane right now.
For a while.
Yeah, but that is the leading car now, I reckon, that has got its driver in till the end. And will they be able to go 55 minutes, Jeremy?
Well, yes, they will.
On fuel?
I mean, Trent Hinman hasn't even stopped yet, has he at all?
No, and he's got to come in the next. He's got to come in the next 10 minutes, 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his teammate Cameron Castles won't get his 45 in.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been trying to save some fuel. I guess he's been trying to save some fuel, but it's a question, do you lose more time by saving fuel, or do you lose more time with Cameron Castles, who's not yet on that same sort of pace as Trent Hinman?
Till Bechtelsheimer now only 19 seconds off the lead. They are yet to stop to put Mark Miller in. So that again is the tactics that CJ Wilson have tried. Leave your first driver in. They have done tyres on that 33 Porsche Cayman though, the Porsche of Fresno sponsored car. As in ST, Stephen McAleer has a comfortable 12.5 second lead over Christian Simchak in the 34 Mazda in third. Tyler Cook in second, rather, Simchak. Tyler Cook in third in the 84 BMW. Has got Britt Casey Jr. ahead of him in the 27 car. So that's a... No, they're fighting for third position. Britt Casey's just gone into third position. Timing screen taking a little longer than I had anticipated to update that, and what I was seeing and what in reality and what I was seeing on the timing screen not matching up there for a moment. And frankly, it doesn't take a lot to confuse me. I think this is really interesting tactics by the guys at the head of the GS field. And you've got to say that Stevenson, Jeremy, have done a really good job tactically. Took the opportunity to stick a new set of tyres on during the full course yellow. And Trent Hinman, I think, has just peeled off into the pit lane, Shea.
Yes, he has. They are up on the wall. The last pit box is the one where our championship leaders lie. So Trent Hinman unplugging himself even as he drives down the pit lane, not unbuckling himself yet, though. Pulls in and almost pulls in a little bit too early, actually. Almost hits an IMSA official, but manages not to. Cameron Castles taking over for Trent. That is the first time that we've seen this year in a race of this length. We saw it in the endurance race at Daytona earlier on. But they are doing left side tires for that car, the number 12 right now, and fuel. They are trying to get the belts on right now. Now they've done the right side tires as well, so they are doing 4 tires for the number 12 car. The 99 Aston Martin is at the exact opposite end of the pit lane and was very slow entering the pit lane, to the point where Trent actually had to sort of juke around him to get in. Trent's having a little bit of issue actually getting Cameron completely in the car, and now they've had an issue with the right front tire. They've dropped the car off the air jacks too soon, so this pit stop going horribly wrong for body motion as Trent Hinman jumps over the wall. They are still doing the fueling. Now they are good to go, but the car is not yet moving. There it goes. So a couple seconds lost off the end of that pit stop as well.
Now, what they will be looking at very carefully is where the 76 McLaren is and Paul Holton, and do they get out ahead of that car? Till Bechtelsheimer leads, has pitted though. That means the Chevy Camaro, Robin Liddell and Stevenson back in the lead. Mark Miller being installed in the 33 car. It's time to go racing to the end. These should be the last pit stops for the GS cars now. Cameron Castles has fallen behind Paul Holton. These cars separated by just 3 points in the championship, the 76 McLaren and the 12 Porsche. And this is the championship in 4th and 5th position in GS at the moment. And it has not paid off that gamble, Jeremy Shaw, for the number 12 Body Motion squad. It's not paid off at all in terms of the championship.
Well, no, but it was a gamble they were prepared to take, and you know, Cameron Castles now, he'll just do the best he can. I mean, it was always a the many gambles. One is staying out such a long time on one set of tyres when everybody else can charge hard. But at least now Cameron has the advantage of a fresh set of tyres, so he will be able, his pace relative to some of the other guys will be better than it would have been. Yeah, he will slip back from here, but the hope, if they can come away with a top 5 finish, which might be a bit marginally more likely 6th or perhaps 7th, but still, you know, that's about where they would have ended up probably if. At best, if Cameron Castles had started a race, perhaps gone a lap down in the early stages or before he made the pit stop, certainly. So, you know, it's all part of the grand plan, which will bring Cameron Castles ultimately up to speed, give him an opportunity to finish the race.
Paul Holton is in the pit lane. The championship battle is not over. Shea Adam, this is the 3rd time the 76 car has been along the lane. What's going on here?
They are fueling him to the end here, John. They also have 2 new tires ready to go. And remember, the last time they came in, the tire change did not go as smoothly as it could have with the other McLaren. Now they're doing the driver change, so it is Matt Plum's turn to go and play. They have left side tires laid out next to the car, doing the fueling and the driver change. Left front has been changed so far. Now the left rear is being changed. I think this is going to be 2 tires only. Driver change is complete. The door goes back down and the window comes back up, because on these cars that is part of the automated feature. Paul Holton walking over to the pit wall. He looks very hot and tired at this point in the race. And just 3 minutes left of a window that they had to come in so that Matt Plum could get his minimum drive time. The 76 goes back out. That was left side tires only for that car.
Drama out on the circuit for the 26 Mazda, and that car is off at the exit of turn number 2, 3 sort of area, out of Big Bend into the left-hander, and it looks like there's no fire from the 4-cylinder engine, and certainly no forward motion for Andrew Carbonell in the 26 car. Sounds to me as if the engine just cut out completely, and he starts cycling through whatever he can. Now he's fiddling with switches there. Now, can that car be recovered under local yellows? I'd suggest no. Race control watching this very carefully. 47 minutes to go. Matt Plum is back into the race. but is off the lead lap at the moment. Still no sign of movement from the 26 ST Mazda MX-5. Damien Faulkner, by the way, has just been inserted into, and he's left the pit lane in the 35. The second of the CJ Wilson cars, which has had fuel pump issues, and there is a full course yellow. Full course yellow. It was almost inevitable, wasn't it? So the 30 seconds of a lead for Robin Liddell is going to disappear, and Dylan Matchevin will close that up. But what it has done is put, well, this is great news for Cameron Castles in some ways, because his nearest competitor in the championship, Matt Plum, is a lap off the lead.
Indeed so. You know, we're going to be, well, it's 46 minutes to go in this race right now, and I think we've only got, what, 4 cars on the lead lap, depending where's the 69 car. There's the 69. Okay, so we've got 5 cars.
Correct.
On the lead lap.
Cameron Lawrence in the 21 Porsche is the first car off the lead lap in GS. It's all over the place in ST. What I will tell you is the 2 Mazdas 25 and 34 are on the lead lap, and in class, and I think everybody down to Owen Trinkler is on the lead lap in class, who's in 9th position in the 44 CDG I Do Borrow Nissan Altima. But I'll let that shake out. Huge crowd watching here. Thank you for joining us. If you're trackside, lots of racing this Saturday. Intercontinental IMSA Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge Lime Rock 120 live on IMSA radio and TV together, as all of the Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge races are this season. No geo-black, no brakes, and no excuses for you to miss any of the action throughout the rest of the season. Trent Hinman out of the number 12 car was with Shea Adam.
Trent, that was the most bonkers first stint we could ever imagine for you. I mean, there were 3 wrecks right in front of you. You're trying to lap cars, and you're telling me that you were trying to save fuel the whole time, too? Jeez.
Yeah, it's one of those days where the team's telling you, okay, you got to save fuel, you got to manage your tires, and oh, by the way, we have a bunch of cars ahead of us that we need to get by. At the end of the day, I couldn't have done it without these Body Motion guys. They gave me a great car in qualifying yesterday, obviously, and today we carried that into that first stint there. I honestly had no idea what was going on toward the end of the stint. My sole goal was just keeping the thing on the road. It was definitely tough to hang on to. Lime Rock Park generally gets very greasy at the end of the stint, but that was the longest I've ever ran a set of Continental tires, 1 hour and 20 minutes between qualifying and here, so very impressive there. We're going to see what happens. You know, I'm still trying to get my bearings, figure out where Cameron is on the racetrack, and see maybe if we can pull out a podium or something here. But yeah, once again, big thanks to the Body Motion Racing Trimtex guys. Cameron's doing a fantastic job, and we're going to see where we end up here in a couple minutes.
He's third on the track right now, so we'll see where he goes when we go back to green. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the best news for that number 12 Body Motion team is that Matt Plum, their nearest to the 76 Paul Holton car, their nearest championship contenders, down in 9th position and off the lead lap in GS, so it actually hasn't worked out too bad for them. Has
Nico Rondet taken the wave by? Because he was behind number 21 car of Cameron Lawrence. Now the scoring, I'm not sure what's going on here, whether the scoring is incorrect or whether the number 76 car once again, and actually no, not, excuse me, not number 76 car, the number 68 car might have kind of fallen the right. Yeah, I think it has. I think once again the MIA team seems to be caught out by the wave around, which is only meant for the cars that are on this in the same class as the leader. I think they might have messed up here, and it's not the first time they've done it, I'm afraid.
That's 3 in a row, isn't it, Jeremy?
So.
If that is the case, we'll wait to see what happens there, but he's certainly back on the lead lap. Should mention that it's not as if Race Control reads out a list of numbers. They basically say start the pass around now, and you have to know whether you can go or not. And there is a McLaren coming into the pit lane. And it is one of the MIA cars. And I
Here
wonder
for a while, I'm afraid.
if it is... No, it's Jesse Lazare. It's Jesse Lazare coming out of 5th position. So this will be fuel and tyres. Now, this is an interesting strategy here because they're going to set Jesse on position number 11 out of 10 from this and try and get him up through the field. It's sort of good news for Cameron Castles right now because it takes away one of the cars that would have been close to him to bump him down. Left side tyres only going on. So just 2 Continentals for the 69 MIA McLaren.
And they were last in the pits on lap 58. I think they would have been struggling. I don't think they could get to the end of the race from there in any case. So they needed to make a pit stop at some stage. Now they've been able to do that, Dan, get on at least some fresh left side tyres, which is the tyres, of course, that work hardest on this racetrack with just the one significant left-hand corner.
Yep. Let me just reset ST for you. Stephen McAleer leads in the 25 Mazda from Christian Simchek in the 34 car. Britt Casey Jr., who I think has just been assessed a drive-through for leaving with pit equipment attached. He's sitting in 3rd right now, but I don't think he served that pit penalty. Well, he's got 2 pit stops to his name, so he might have.
Car?
27,
yeah. He was in a while ago.
He did a drive-through.
He did a drive-through, yes.
Okay. Tyler Cook in 4th position for BMW number 84, the black and white car. Then Porsche 31. Then Spencer Pumpelly in the 17. Then the BMW number 81. And those are the cars on the lead lap in ST, by my reckoning. So the first car off the lead lap is Stephen Simpson in ST, this is, in the 54 BMW, the yellow car with the white-black stripe over the roof. And he's got Owen Trinkler behind him in the Nissan Altima number 44. Those guys stayed out very, very long on their first stint. Both led the race, those cars, but ultimately have dropped off the lead lap. In GS, there could be 6 cars on the lead lap, or maybe just 5, depending on what happens with Nico Rodde. Jesse Lazare is out and has stayed on the lead lap after that pit stop. Remember, he's just put 2 Continental tyres on left side of the McLaren number 69 only. Robin Liddell leads from Dylan Matchevin in 2nd place. Camaro from Cayman. From Cayman, Cameron Castles. Oh, that's nicely alliterative, isn't it? In 3rd position. Mark Miller isn't driving anything with an M. That's another Cayman, the 33 car in 3rd. All on the lead lap, as is Jesse Lazare and Nico Ronde, who've just swapped places out there for some reason on the timing and screen. Timing and scoring screen. 26 of Andrew Carbonell, the car that caused this full course yellow, just switched itself off for some reason. And Andrew Carbonell could not get that car restarted. That news from Freedom Motorsport, the team. So, Jeremy, we're going to have about 35 minutes to the end here. Robin Liddell, having had over 30 seconds of a lead, has to do it all again, but we'll get a couple of laps where he's not in traffic.
Yes, and so, he's certainly looking pretty golden at this stage in the game. But the Dillons, then, what a job they've once again done for the RS1 team.
Good strategy there as well, Jeremy.
Yeah, both those 2 drivers from the northeast, Dylan Murcott from Ankram, New York, and Dylan Matchevin from Burlington, Vermont. So they've, I'm sure, got a lot of support here this weekend, and it's been another really, really good run for them. They've had their best ever finish last time out 2 weeks ago at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park with a 2nd place finish. That's where we're running right now, and the green flag, John, is coming out.
And a great restart from Robin Liddell, who once again has an Aston Martin between him. The leader has an Aston Martin between him and the field. And he goes through. Matchevin was under pressure from Castles. Cameron trying to have a look down the inside, but he is under pressure from Mark Miller. So 3 Porsches, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 28, 12 and 33, the dark grey car. And between them and the leader, we have got traffic, and that's good news for Robin Liddell, who can make a little bit of a dash at the head of the field without having to watch his mirrors too much. The 99 Aston Martin, with Charles Espenlaub at the wheel, is in 10th position in GS, but off the lead lap by a couple, by 3 now actually. But that is a very quick car. And Cameron Lawrence is in there as well in the 21. He's the first car off the lead lap. And he's got the 26 car going down the inside of him there.
28 car,
that
yes.
28 car, excuse me,
That's
Dylan
right.
Matchevin.
That, not a battle for position, therefore, because the 21 car is a lap down.
Correct.
After a very good first stint, by the way, by Chuck Quinton. Cameron Lawrence now at the wheel of that car. But the number 28 car does go through, so he's got now relatively plain sailing between himself and the overall race leader. Just a couple of other lapped cars in GS between the two of them.
Yeah, and Mark Miller making a move there. He's up to 3rd position now, having got by a couple of cars. Cameron Castle's dropping down to 5th. So as it stands now, Liddell in the Camaro, Matchevin in the Porsche Cayman, Mark Miller, Porsche Cayman. 5.8 seconds between those 3. Then it's a 1.5 seconds back to Nico Ronde with the 68 car, waiting to see if that car's allowed to stay where it is on the circuit. Then it's Cameron Castles, but Jesse Lazare with new tyres is right there and goes through into 5th position. But Cameron Castles is all right for a while there, Jeremy, because he's got now a lap before... He's got a lap, if you like, on Cameron Lawrence in the 21 Porsche. And he can actually, I mean, Cameron's just ahead of him on the track. So he's got almost a full lap before Cameron Lawrence can come round and take 6th position from him.
Indeed so. So, yeah, you know, that's what I'm still pretty sure the number 68 car is out of position, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a black flag come out fairly shortly for that car, which would move the Castle's car up to 5th place. But whatever, it's been a good run. It continues to be a good run. 27 car, by the way, Britt Casey Jr. has got past Christian Schimjack up to 2nd place in ST.
Yeah, that's been an old Mazda affair, really, hasn't it, at the front of the field, holding down the podium positions pretty much since the drop of the green flag. Nico Ronde now right behind Mark Miller for 3rd position. Matt Plum getting up to speed, sitting at the moment in 9th position, and his job now is to get his head down and rag that number 76 McLaren to try and get back up towards Cameron Castles somehow. He is about 53 seconds behind him, and there's 35 minutes of the race to go. So just over, well, just under rather, a lap. Meantime, Robin Liddell doing what Robin Liddell does. The feisty Scotsman. So quiet and unassuming outside of the car, and a massive motorsport fan, an automotive fan. The fun fact about Robin is he collects Peugeot 205s. I've stopped asking him now how many he's got. And it's not just the GTIs. He knows all of the special editions and the limited cars. And he's got a few, shall I say. We have often spent times at airports discussing the relative merits of the 1360 engine over the 1197 or the 1205 if it was bored out to 1300. Not allowed to have them in the States because Robin Liddell owns them all, says Shea Adam in my ear. To the uphill, ST cars battling for the positions from 3rd on down over. Spencer Pumpelly right in there in the 17 Porsche, and the Mini, the 73 cars a lap further back from that. Still the 2 Pombos.
Tell you what, the 44
together.
car there is trying to get, Owen Trinkler is trying to get his lead lap back from Steve McAleer heading into turn 1.
And that's very, very important for the 44 car. Owen Trinkler has got by Steven Simpson and opened a 5.2 second lead just since the restart. So Trinkler in the Nissan, well, that car's got plenty of pace, and desperately trying then to grab some time back and get on the lead lap. Stephen McAleer and Britt Casey Jr. battling between themselves for the lead in ST, and the Nissan Altima, the 44 car, right in amongst that. Spencer Pumpelly with the 31 Porsche right behind him. That is a battle for position, and Tyler Cook ahead in the 84 BMW. That's 4th, 5th and 6th together, as they'll come round to complete another lap in a moment. And this will be a big championship swing in ST, with Eric Foss down in 12th position in the championship leading car. And where is the 73 Mini? Well, they're in 11th, actually. So they're actually having a battle. Eric Foss and M. Pombo, which is Matt in the 73 car. And they are battling at the head of the championship and in this race. So Matt Plum, by the way, has got ahead of the Ford. So that's another position gained there as he heads up towards Cameron Lawrence. He's now just 2 seconds behind. And the Plum car looking to try and make up some points in the championship on our championship leader, which at the moment has Cameron Castles at the lead. The Riley Mazda helping the 37 Mini along and being helped in its way, on its way by the 17, and that has dislodged some bodywork from the front of the MX-5, which is now dropped away. All rather close quarters last time around through the left and right-hander, turns 3 and 4. Liddell 5 seconds ahead of Matchevin, 5 seconds ahead of Miller, 1.5 seconds ahead of Ronde. Camaro, Cayenne, Cayman, that'd be interesting. Camaro, Cayman, McLaren. 11.5 seconds between the top 5, with Jesse Lazare having got by Cameron Castles, who's dropped down to 6th position. But remember, the next car is 52 seconds back. That's Cameron Lawrence. But Matt Plum just 1.5 seconds further back. And Matt Plum, other than the 2 cars at the head of the field, the fastest man in GS last time around, 56.1. So 3rd quickest of the GS cars, and much quicker than the cars around him. Now, he will catch the same traffic that everyone else has got, but he's taking half a second and more out the cars around him at the moment, lap to lap, with just on half an hour remaining. And that, remember, the 76 and the 12 is the battle at the head of the championship table.
Really interesting race. So finally now the second place car, Dylan Machavin, has found a clear track ahead of him, because he's managed to get past those cars that he was dicing with that were lap or laps down. So 4.7 seconds the gap between himself and Robin Liddell. I don't think he's going to be able to make much inroads into that, but hey, he won't certainly won't give up from trying.
Nico Ronde now only 1.5 seconds behind Mark Miller, but not gaining at the moment. But that's 4th place points for Nico Ronde and Matt Keegan. They're in 3rd at the moment. They're only 7 points away from the lead. Remember, the top 5 in the championship, with Matchevin and Merkert in 5th position, but they are only 10 points behind the Castles and Hindman 12 team. Mark Miller and Till Bergschelsheimer are only 9, so this could be a big change around at the top of the championship. Jeremy.
And a 68 car is onto pit lane. Maybe Shea can tell us whether it's making a drive-through or a penalty stop.
68 Shea, is that stopping? Yes, it is. The 68 and the 75, both in the naughty step at the moment.
They are both serving penalties. I'll find out why from John Knotts in just a moment.
It would have been for an incorrect wave around, I'm sure, because it should have been a lap down, and it wasn't. It was running in the 4th position, so it's now going to lose at least a couple of laps by making this long pit stop. It'll take it completely out of contention, and that's like we said earlier, it's not the first time this has happened for this team. It's very bizarre. because it's not a common occurrence for people to have problems with that pass around, but it's going to cost them very, very dearly here after another strong run. The good news is the number 69 car is still running strong, and Jesse Lazare is going to try and track down Mark Miller for third place. That's number 33 in third place, number 69 in fourth. Meanwhile, in ST, number 44 car, Owen Trinkler, did get his lap back, so he's praying here for a full course caution to get him onto the tail end of the cars that are on the lead lap. He's currently running in 8th position in ST, and Stephen McAleer has his mirrors full of teammate Britt Casey Jr., who's still looking for his first win, let's not forget. Stephen McAleer and Chad McCumbee in the leading car. They've won this race 2 years in a row, so a lot of at stake between those two teammates.
And the top three in ST, all Mazdas now within 3/4 of a second as they went across the line in front of us last time around. Big changes for the championship at the GS end of things as well, with Dylan Matchevin taking second place points at the moment. The 57 car isn't in the championship points hunt at the moment, with the Robin Liddell and Matt Bell partnership, but Dylan Matchevin in the 28 certainly is. They are in 5th, just 10 points behind championship leaders Cameron Castles and Trent Hinman, as Nico Ronde is back
Finally,
out.
yeah. That'll cost him minimum 2 laps.
Improper wave around for both of those cars.
Yeah.
And effectively, they are both. The 75 was the Audi, of course, and the 68 Nico Ronde in the McLaren. So both having dropped laps there, and it's cost. And yeah, both of those cars. I started this sentence and then stopped myself, but I'm certain that this is true now. My brain gets ahead of me sometimes. Both C360R cars, of course, those two cars.
Which cars?
The 68 and the 75. Nico Ronde's.
Yes, but the 68 car, good question. Actually, who's actually running that car?
360R, the mechanics.
They are running the car,
yeah.
are they? Yeah, fine. Well, that explains why Carl Thompson was here anxiously trying to find race control.
The points, the team points go to MIA because
yes,
that's
right,
their car, and that's who's registered for the championship.
Rainford.
But the drivers' points stay with the drivers. 27 and 25 cross the line down towards Big Bend, and at the moment they've got Owen Trinkler right in front of them, who's got through but not been able to pull away from this battle for the lead in ST. So Owen Trinkler right on the end of the lead lap through into turn 3. The little Mazda 4-cylinder engine screaming away as Eric Foss is in the 56 Porsche championship leader in ST, only down in 11th. My goodness, this is going to be a real pivot point in the championship. And both championships, in fact, as through comes Mark Miller in the GT4 version of the Cayman, which somehow looks bigger all around. A little bit of damage on the left front of Mark Miller's 33 car. Within 4.5 seconds, but Jesse Lazare closing him down. 4.5 seconds of second, Miller, and Jesse Lazare just a second further back in that 69 McLaren. 56. So let's run down the order at the top of the field. 57, Camaro from 28. Dylan Matchevin, 6.8 seconds at the last timing mark. 5 seconds further back, the 33 Porsche Mark Miller. Half a second, make that a 1/10 of a second as they've just gone past us from Jesse Lazare. Cameron Castles holding on to the back of that battle. He's doing a great job.
He is.
2.8 seconds further back, and the last car on the lead lap right now, 54 seconds further back, is Cameron Lawrence in the 21 Porsche. He's got Matt Plum a 10th behind him in the 76 McLaren. And they've got 4 seconds on the 7 Ford with Chris Hall at the wheel. In ST, 25 and 27 are separated by nothing. We'll add the 34 to that as well with Christian Simchak. They're separated by about 3/10 of a second. And then it's Tyler Cook, who is 5.8 seconds further back in the 84 BMW. Spencer Pumpelli's about 7 seconds further back in 5th in the 17 Porsche. He's got a 5-second lead on the 31 Porsche. Then the BMW number 81 in 7th is 3 seconds further back. Then the big gap, 39 seconds to Owen Trinkler in 8th position. And he's the last car in the lead lap in ST. Hopefully that has helped some of you down at the pit lane who I know are struggling with timing at the moment. We'll try and keep you up to date with that. The leader coming to West Bend with 8.3 seconds all of a sudden, a 57.3 from Robin Liddell as he found a little bit of the Lime Rock Park circuit that he's actually without traffic on it. He's already across the line in front of us. 57.3 last time around against a best lap time of 55.9 and a 57.5, the model of consistency. Wait for Matchevin to go through. There he is. It's 8.1 seconds. 58.0 for the second place car against Mark Miller's 58.2. Caught in a bit of traffic there. But all of a sudden, Jesse Lazare, having been right up the tailpipes of Mark Miller, is 4.4 seconds back and under pressure from Cameron Castles.
That's right. What a great job by Cameron. I mean, he's really taken on this role now. I mean, his last lap was a 58.0. That's within half a second of the race leaders. He's really stepping up his game as Cameron Castles will be given the responsibility of the final driver duties in this race, and he's stepping up to the plate. Good for him. Yeah,
well, the championship is on the line here. There's no doubt, and everybody's got to pitch in. The tactics may have not worked exactly the way they expected it to, but one or two of the challengers have rather tripped themselves up here. And that's allowed the Body Motion team back into this. 5th and 54 seconds ahead of Cameron Lawrence, that's really 54 seconds ahead of Matt Plum as well, because Matt Plum is right there with Lawrence, and in fact he's gone through. Matt Plum, I think I've just seen him go through.
On Lawrence, has he? Okay, fine.
Let me see, wait till the timing resets. I thought I saw the McLaren ahead of the 21 car as they crossed the line in front of us. Oh no, Mark Miller's off. The 33 Porsche Fresno Cayman is off at the right-hander, turn 4. He hasn't hit anything, but he's dropped down to 5th position. And this was in traffic again, going round the outside of the BMW. Number 54 got a clip. Now, who's in the 54 at the moment? That's Stephen Simpson, isn't it? Yes, it is. He's in 10th.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was very odd. No real need for those cars to come together there. Was it a lack of concentration by one, other, or both? Not sure. But that is a championship contender. 4th position for Bechtelsheimer and Mark Miller in the car at the moment. 9 points off the lead in GS. And the leader has just gone back by them. 6 seconds the gap now to the leader in the championship. But Dylan Matchevin at the moment is doing his championship chances no harm whatsoever. Second by 7 seconds to Robin Liddell. The leaders still battling in ST as well, and it's still Mazda 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And there's still, well, in fact, it's closed up, believe it or not. Now only 6/10 between them.
The first two, the third place car slipped back just a little bit.
Yeah, Charles Espenlaub's got between them. That's why there's an Aston that got between them for a moment, Jeremy, and that's with traffic coming through, that's just caused a little bit of a change in the dynamic there. The 34 Murillo Racing bright orange MX-5 has got GS traffic coming through that battle as Charles Espenlaub in the 99. Aston is not in the battle for the lead, but certainly the 57 Camaro is doing a great job with Robin Liddell at the wheel. He's coming through the final corner now. Mark Miller, since he's been spun around, by the way, he's really charging. 57.5 last time around. Second best lap. Only quicker man on the track. He's the leader, Robin Liddell, and he's in clear air. So Mark Miller now just 2.5 seconds away from the championship leader, Cameron Castles. and he must get back past that car. Unfortunately, he's lost some 13 seconds, more than that actually, to Dylan Matchovan, who he was trying to chase down for second place. Cameron Castle's just getting a little bit squirrely, the back end of the car moving around, coming out of turn 1 and through turn 2. And now he has got the newest tyres of the guys in the front group, because that was the very late stop, wasn't it, that was planned by the Body Motion team. Trent Hinman getting out with just a couple of minutes or so to go before the absolute last chance. Maybe could have got one more lap.
Again, the Matt Plum and the number 76 and 21 car absolutely continuing their battle. That is for 6th position, 1 lap off the pace, side by side. They were coming past here last time around.
Pit stops, the last pit stops, Cameron Castle on lap 68, Mark Miller lap 69, Robin Liddell 65, and Jesse Lazaire, of course, with the freshest tyres, because he did make that stop right on the buzzer at 76 laps. In fact, they went deep into the race, didn't they? So it is the McLaren number 69 with the best tyres, or the newer tyres.
And those 3 Mausers pretty much back to nose to tail again, heading into turn 1.
15 minutes to go, Jeremy. And right ahead of them, Owen Trinkler. Pace just beginning to drop off now, but he's still under a minute, and he's still closing down. The cars ahead of him, but he's 30 seconds back, but he was 50 seconds back. So, you know, he's doing a really good job. He's closing down the cars ahead, but he's got the leaders behind him. Won't be long, I think, before he has to pull off. 27 cars going off right at the top of the uphill, and he's taken out the 34. And that will be the full course caution, I'm sure, that Owen Trinkler was hoping for. Didn't expect it to come like that. It was a huge, lazy slide by second place Britt Casey Jr. in the ST class, and Christian Simchak in the Murillo Racing 34 had nowhere to go. Just showing you how hard those guys were pushing, and I was saying how loose they were getting on the uphill. Now, how far off the circuit is Christian Simchak? Just turns in, maybe just clipped the inside curve a tiny bit. Great save from the 27. I'm not sure he would have got back straight had it not been for Simchak pushing him straight. And just lost it right on the brow of the hill. Simchak comes along and collects the tyre bale on driver's right and actually pushes Britt Casey Jr. back straight again. He's lost 7 seconds to the leader, Tyler Cook, up to 3rd. So Simchak has got back into the pits.
Yeah, no caution.
Wow, that's extraordinary. No caution. Very, very odd angle of steering on the 27 Britt Casey Jr. car. So somehow Britt Casey Jr. has got that car going. The 34 of Christian Simchak is back in with a mangled front end. He must have reversed off the bales of tyres. Extraordinary. Big dent in the right-hand side of that car at the front will have been where he pushed the... Oh no, that was the left-hand side. So maybe got caught as Britt Casey Jr. came back around in the right-hand side, right in the door. Okay.
Yes, indeed, okay.
12 and a half minutes to go, live on IMSA Radio and TV. Robin Liddell leads for Stevenson. John Stevenson was not at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park to see the delightful double victory for his team in 2 different races the same weekend. 58 laps in the lead now for the 57 car.
Tell you what, Cameron Castles is giving Jesse Lazare, let's not forget, a runaway champion of the GT3 Cup Series, all he can handle down into toward Big Ben that time around.
Yeah, and Mark Miller's caught him up. He might be pushing him along there, Jeremy, because there's just a tenth between them. And this is all championship implications at the top of GS. Castle's doing a cracking job. Let's not forget, with everything that's gone on around, he's up to 4th position now. Matt Plum has got past Cameron Lawrence and is now only 46 seconds. And Miller's got through. Miller's back up into 4th. So Cameron Castle's down into 5th and 46 seconds ahead of Matt Plum, with whom he is battling for the championship. He's also battling with Mark Miller and Dylan Matchevin as well, by the way. But the car behind now at a 46-second gap. Matt Plum is only 3 points behind in the championship. At the moment, the point for fastest lap is with the number 12 car, and that could be important. Trent Hinman put that in on the 7th lap around at a 55.7, and I can't see anybody getting near that in the last part of the race.
No, absolutely right. So that's you know,
that part of the tactics
could
work.
Be crucial. Yeah, the whole strategy has worked for that team in my mind. Absolutely no question. Particularly with Cameron Castle stepping up to the plate so strongly this afternoon. In the meantime, out in front, Robin Liddell kind of cruising along now. The gap between 1st and 2nd has settled down to around about 6 seconds or so. It's out as much as 9, but I don't think the 2nd place car is going to make any inroads into that lead. 3rd place battle a long way back. Further back for 7th and 8th, the number 21 and number 7 cars. 21 Matt is Cameron Lawrence. The number 7, that bright Dayglow yellow car, headed now into the S's, probably. Chris Hall, they are battling for 7th and 8th.
Welcome along to anyone who has been watching the Michelin Road to Le Mans race, or the Michelin Cup race at the Red Bull Ring. You join us with 10 minutes to go for the IMSA Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge Lime Rock 120. Robin Liddell leads in the 57 Camaro by 5.4 seconds ahead of the 28 Porsche. Dylan Matchevin, then 25 seconds further back, a great battle between Jesse Lazare in the 69 McLaren, Mark Miller for Porsche number 33 for CJ Wilson Racing, and Cameron Castle's just dropping off the back there. That's the championship leading car, started by Trent Hinman, now down to 5th position, and the championship is going to be shaken up in GS. In ST, the 3 Mazdas that had been battling all through the race are now reduced to 2, and there's 9 seconds between them. There's barely been 9/10ths between all 3 of them. But incident a couple or 3 laps ago has left Stephen McAleer with a handy 9-second lead from Britt Casey Jr. with a damaged number 27 Mazda in second. Just 3.7 seconds now ahead of Tyler Cook in the BMW, who is charging. The championship leader in ST is Eric Foss in the 56 Porsche. They had early problems. He's fought back to 10th position, along with a good stint from Jeff Mosing. But this is all going to be changed at the end of this race tonight. Live in sound and vision, with WeatherTech action still to come from Lime Rock Park and a prototype challenge race. So stay with us wherever you are in the world. Just after midday here, heading on to 20 minutes after 12 noon.
And the Chris Hall, by the way, has managed to find his way past number 21 car of Cameron Lawrence, that for 7th place, and Mark Miller up into 3rd now ahead of Jesse Lazare. But Cameron Castle's also right there. The 3-car battle still for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Yeah,
that's a good drive back from Mark Miller after that off-track incident. Yes. I fancy Cameron Lawrence is struggling on the tyres. He last stopped at lap 49, Jeremy. So he's been out there a very, very long time on those tyres on the 21 car. And that is costing him time now. He's a good second or so off the pace that he was doing earlier on, possibly a little more. The gap between the Porsche number 12 of Cameron Castles and the 76 McLaren still coming down, but not quick enough for Matt Plum. At the front of the field, Robin Liddell just eased his pace last time around, 57.6. And for the first time in a while, Dylan Matchevin in the 28 Porsche Cayman has got that gap to the leader under 5 seconds. Mark Miller, half a minute back. Great drive for Mark Miller. Could easily have lost his head after that incident where he was off the side of the circuit. And it's another what if, isn't it, for the CJ Wilson Racing team. But this is putting pressure on at the sharp end of the championship. Matchevin and Murcutt 10 points away from the leader, who is 3 spots behind him. Check that, 4 spots behind him. Mark Miller with Till Bechdelsheimer 9 points behind the leader, and he has a couple of spots on Cameron Castles. So this is all closing up nicely. And all of a sudden, Matt Plum's found a bit of open air and takes 2 seconds out of Cameron Castles. Down to 38.8 seconds last time around. But only 6 minutes to go. Have we got further drama here? Tyler Cook not able to close in on Britt Casey Jr. in 2nd and 3rd place, those 2 cars. Mazda BMW in ST. So at the moment we are wondering, just Jeremy will do the analysis at the end. By the way, just a quick mention of Damien Faulkner.
Yes.
He's actually been lapping very, very quickly indeed. He got down to a 56.9 in that car, having had fuel pump problems earlier on. He's actually in behind Dylan Matchevin in 2nd place at the moment. They're about to cross the line in front of us. He is down in 12th position in GS, which is 35th overall. That's been proof, if anyone wasn't sure, that Damien, having come back to this form of racing this year, has, or US racing this year, has lost none of his pace.
No, you're right, John. And he's been holding pace with that 2nd place car of Dylan Matchevin for, ever since he was overtaken by him a long time ago now, shortly after the restart. So he's, as you say, no question there's top 3 pace in that number 35 car, even though it's many laps behind.
Yeah, got a fail for Russell Ward and Damien Faulkner, not had the luck this year. ST leader Stephen McAleer now just closed in on a tiny bit by Britt Casey Jr. Still 7 seconds the advantage.
Yeah, and that gap's been fairly constant, about just over 7 seconds the last several laps. A gap about 4 seconds further back also to number 84 car of Tyler Cook. But Britt Casey Jr., despite that huge hole in the side of the car, or dent at least, still going at a very good pace.
2 yellow and black cars battling for position in ST are going into the left-hander at turn 3 here. The 52 Mini. Steven Simpson right behind, and the BMW gets to the right-hand side for the right-hander. Should have had position there, but the grip of the Mini was exceptional. And Pombo in the Mini holds on. They are battling for 8th and 9th in class. They are the first 2 cars off the lead lap in ST. The 52 car showing signs of battle weariness and did have a little bit of tyre rub on the left rear. Some damage on the left front as well. As through goes the Aston Martin of Charles Espenlaub, not in that fight. Looks like the BMW has got the corner coming into the turning point at turn 1 at Big Bend. Now, can Steven Simpson hold on? He can in the JDC Miller Motorsports BMW. And he has just taken that position up to 8th then, with Pombo slipping down to 9th.
These 2 on screen having a fabulous battle as well.
Just what we've been talking about. That's a change of position, just talking about it,
It's been super. That been going for a long time now as well.
So, Robin Liddell's lead been managed, I would say, by the Scotsman. He's lost another 3/10 that time around. Cameron Castles, though, pushing Jesse Lazare. He's back to within half a second of Lazare.
Yeah.
And those points, if he could get by, might be important. But what he can't do is end up at the side of the circuit, as the 34 Mazda has gone back out. And unfortunately, the tape hasn't done its job for Christian Simchak. And we have something approaching a basking shark heading up the uphill in terms of the front of the car. I'm not sure it'll find any krill at West Bend. But it won't overheat. I'm pretty certain about that. I think he may have to come back into the pits again. We've only got a minute and a half. Well, he's staying out as the time ticks down towards about a minute to go. Robin Liddell, this one and one more. No white flag in hand on the start-finish line. Yeah, it'll be white flag next time around for the 57. He's losing a bit of time. It's come down to 4 seconds here. Dylan Matcheven's pushing on there. 57.6 last time around for Matcheven. That's quick. Very quick indeed. Everybody else at least half a second and more slower than Matcheven in second place in that number 28 Porsche. Just about 2.5 miles to go, maybe a little less for Robin Liddell, as now he's all goes by so quickly already at the West Bend. Well, this has been another cracking race, and Stevenson Motorsport are 1.5 miles away from making it 2 in a row.
Just magnificently consistent to Robin Liddell, just lapping just around almost exactly 58 seconds flat for the last, I don't know, well, most of the race really, since he took over the wheel of that car from Matt Bell. It's been a great performance once again from this entire Stevenson Motorsports team.
And they played the tactics perfectly, with Matt Bell coming in and getting a full set of Continental tyres in one of the full course cautions. That allowed them to only change the left side tyres and fuel it to the end. When Robin got in, they were confident enough to leave Matt in it beyond his 45 minutes. And that has paid dividends. Matt Bell on the restart with new Continental rubber, able to drive away from the field, hand the car over in the lead to Robin Liddell. On the pit stop cycle, he came back to the front and has managed the gap. And it will be 2 wins in 2 races in the Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge for Stevenson, and John Stevenson is here to see this one as they take the Lime Rock Park 120. Across the line goes Stephen McAleer and wins for the 3rd time in a row here at Lime Rock Park, having converted pole position as well the last 3 years. Matt Bell, the driving partner of Robin Liddell, is with Shea Adam.
Matt, one heck of a job. 2 weekends in a row. So that's 4 races you've done in the series this year, and you gotten 2 wins out of it. That's not a bad record.
Yeah, we'll take it. I mean, again, this is one that was a little bit we didn't expect it. We didn't expect it to happen like this. But we showed performance. We had, our best qualifying, and by far, both stints were the most competitive that we've been with this car. So the team did a great job. This is all on Mike Johnson with his strategy call to pull us in on that first caution. We went out on fresh tires while everyone else didn't have any, and then they took only 2 at the second stop, and it was just the perfect decision to go for. And I think that's what got us the win. We weren't outright fastest. We were maybe a hair slower than the 28 car there at the end, but Robin did his homework early on and cut through that traffic best he could, and yeah, perfect.
A little bit sweeter having Mr. Stevenson here this week, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to win with the boss around. He puts together a pretty good group of people here, so we're pretty happy about it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Agree with you there, Matt. That was a great team effort, executed perfectly in the pit lane. You wouldn't bat against them going 3 in a row at the next time out at Road America. Dylan Matcheven in second place. That's great news for Dylan Matcheven and Dylan Murcutt in the championship. Mark Miller, valuable championship points for he and his teammate, Till Bechtolsheimer.
Tell you what, the championship's close.
Well, let's hear it in GS.
In GS.
Well, we should say the championship leaders finished 5th position, Cameron Castles and Trent Hinman.
Right.
They came in with 140 points, leading the championship.
Indeed, and the second place in the championship, Paul Holton and Matt Plum, they came home 1 position behind them in 6th. So they actually pulled out 1 point effectively. It's now 166 to Castles and Hinman, 162 to Paul Holton and Matt Plum, and the Dylans, Dylan Murcott and Dylan McTraven.
Joint second place.
Joint second place, just 4 points off the lead. 1 point further back are Till Bechtolsheimer and Mark Miller. And then just half a dozen behind them are Matthew Keegan and Nico Ronde. So that is a tremendous battle. In the Manufacturers' Championship, by the way, with the second place finish, that will mean that Porsche will hold on to the manufacturer's lead.
And while we work out the ST championship positions, let's have a word with the team that's won the 25 Freedom Motorsport Mazda guys.
3 years in a row, 3 poles in a row, and now 3 wins in a row. Chad, I'm putting money on you for Vegas next year, doing the same thing over and over again. But that was hard-earned, though. You guys had a lot of competition out there. Your first stint, how are you dealing with all that traffic?
Well, you know, I mean, the traffic was one thing, but there was a lot of other really fast cars out there today. You know, Stephen and I have had the class of the field the last couple of years, and I think this year maybe wasn't necessarily the case. So we had to dig deep and work hard. You know, it's been an uphill climb since that incident in Watkins Glen, and these Freedom guys have had no time to get this car back right. So, you know, kudos to them. They've been working their tails off, and here we have got our Mod Space car back in victory lane.
Classy as always. Congrats.
Thanks so much.
Whew. Well, great result for those guys. Just mention as well that Till Bechtolsheimer lives down in Manhattan, so he has all his friends and family here, and they are on the podium with Mark Miller. Dylan Matchevin in second, and Robin Liddell and Matt Bell win the race. As far as ST's concerned, it's, I think, an unexpected 3rd position for the 84 team. Tyler Cook bringing that car home. And James Clay and he were in joint 7th position on 112 points. Coming into this weekend, Britt Casey Jr., 2nd position just. They were on 104 points coming into this in 9th position. Eric Foss and Jeff Mosing salvage, and I use that word advisedly because they were at the back of the field after the first lap. They go back up to 10th. That's a heck of a drive for those guys. Now, they had a handy 21-point lead, but they're going to need it because there's all of their championship contenders are around them, Jeremy. Yeah,
in fact, they edged out a couple of points over the 2nd place in the championship. Derek Jones and Matt Pomba and the Mini finished back in 12th. But I reckon now Jeff Mosing and Eric Foss will have 183 to 162 of Gallant and Pumpelli, who finished 4th today.
So that pushes them up from 3rd to 2nd.
3rd to 2nd, and then Derek Jones and Matt Pomba 2 points behind. And then Stephen McAleer and Chad McCumbee. Well, you know, they made up 15 points. They were 60 behind coming into this weekend. They picked up 15 points in the one race today. So, you know, they're not out of the reckoning at all,
2 Scotsmen in the race and 2 Scotsmen on the top step of the podiums in the 2 categories. Thanks to Shea Adam down as our Continental Tire Pit Lane reporter. Thanks to the teams and drivers of the IMSA Continental Tire SportsCar Challenge for providing us yet again with another great sports car race. 2 hours is on the sprint side of endurance, but it was tactics and strategy that got the win once again for Stevenson and that Camaro this weekend. On behalf of Jeremy Shaw, me, John Hindhaugh, and the rest of the IMSA Radio and TV team, thanks for joining us here at Lime Rock Park. We'll be doing it all again in a couple of weeks' time at Road America, and it'll be all live on IMSA Radio. Bye for now.